Hello everyone. So today we will go with the Fusion HCM technical overview what we will cover throughout this training. Myself Dharam, and I have around 10 years of experience in Fusion application, means in ERP, and I had around 4 years of experience into the EBS, and then from there I have been working in the Fusion from around 6 years. Okay, so today we will go ahead with all the topics which we will cover in the Fusion HCM technical training, and what is we will just go overview of what is the Fusion, what is Fusion, how what all things can we do, and we will also compare with the other things, other applications also. Okay. Everyone can hear me, right?
Yes, Dharam, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Dharam, we can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. So yeah, so this is going to be our agenda for today, where we will see what is Fusion Cloud customization, till what level we can customize, and what all the things. Then we will see whether how we can do the integration. Just these all things are going to be just overview. We are not going to be in detail. And then we will see the coexistence solutions, and then we will see what is the role of the HCM technical in the Fusion, and then we will go through the technical course curriculum. Okay, so basically here what you can see is cloud customization which is coming up. Could you please put yourself on mute so that we will not listen any voice from the background? Thank you. So this is our customization level. Okay, where we can see a different level of customization is available for depending on the product. So if we come for the cloud, we have a three type of family, where we can see SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So what is SaaS? And SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, I will just explain you. The SaaS is the application where the user or the client doesn't have to do anything, like they do not have to host anything like data centers, networking, servers, or operating system, database. Anything is not need to be managed by the client. It will be managed by the vendor. Okay, they just have to pay like a rent for the this app systems and the infrastructure, and they just need a URL and they can use the application. Okay, so that is the SaaS. If we talk about the PaaS is the where we will get everything from the vendor except the application. Means application is like, if we talk about the application, we have the in the ERP, we have the from the Oracle only, we had the EBS, where we had the basically in EBS we were getting we had to maintain all the things, database and all. But in the past, we have all things will be maintained by the Oracle, but only application will be maintained by the client, where they can do the customization from on their own, and where they can create a new pages, and all those things they can do into the past. Okay, and they can even create a custom tables for their own requirement. Okay, in the past. Okay, now if we talk about the SaaS, where we have a application security and database will be maintained by the client. Means they can use the these things in their own way. They can customize all these things depending on their requirement. but remaining things like operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, networking, and data centers will be handled by vendor. Here in our case, vendor is the Oracle. Okay, so in SaaS, basically we do not have customizations same as what we get into the past. Uh, like in the past, we can create the new web pages, or we can link one pages to the other pages depending on the requirement. But in the SaaS, we can just do the application based, means customization based on like hiding a field and making a field to the mandatory, or adding some content to a particular page. We can do all these things with the help of the in the SaaS as a part of customizations. Okay, so this is about the SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Hope this is clear for everyone.
Yes, we do understand.
Yeah. So again, this is the same thing which we have discussed, where we have seen like what is the difference between the SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So here also the first is the IaaS, there where we are getting the application platform and we can do the customization. Okay, in the past we are just getting the application where we can perform our customization based on that. Okay, and the SaaS, where we are just getting we are not getting anything, but we can customize the things, but with that will be limited. Okay, so here in our training tenure means course, we will be going through the SaaS, where we will see what all the things we can do with the SaaS application, like data migrations and customizations, securities, workflow, all these things we will be seeing through our training. Okay, so in we get lot of questions like whether the Fusion HCM is good for the market or not. In so in the cloud market, if we go and see the market for the Fusion HCM is quite good, as if we compare as compared to its rivals like SAP. SAP has doesn't have much market as compared to Fusion HCM. Okay, the same thing applies for the Workday also, because we can see very big clients are also, I mean, are attached to the uh, Fusion, but as compared to if you go to the SAP, it is not. So this is just a clarification, because I always get this kind of question, so I just explained you. So this is the Fusion Oracle Fusion third party integration inbound interface. So let's suppose there is a scenario, because this always comes up when we migrate from the one party, means from a legacy system to the new system. We need to migrate the data from a legacy system to the new system. Okay, so and this is also going to be a ongoing process. Okay, so how we can achieve this in with the help of the Fusion, when we are doing, when we are migrating from a on-premise system or any system to the Fusion application, how we can achieve that. So here we have a tools provided by the Oracle for doing the for loading the data into the Fusion application. So that is, we call it, earlier we had the FBL, which we call is a file based loader. Okay, where we were getting the data into the files, and we were loading the data into the Fusion application. Then the HDL has come up. HDL is human data loader, human capital management data loader, we call it. So that is also similar to the FBL, but that is a quite enhanced version of the FBL. So when we will go in detail, we will see how, what is the difference between the FBL, HDL, and how HDL works. Okay, then there is a spreadsheet data loader, where we load the data by filling the data into the Excel sheet and then migrate the data into the Fusion application. Okay, so these are the loaders provided by the Oracle. So here we can see how integration happens between the third-party system and into the Fusion application. Okay, so let's suppose we have the third-party application like Workday, SuccessFactors, Oracle EBS, Oracle PeopleSoft, simple whatever we had. Okay, so from there is one thing, we can even skip this SOA cloud services. This is going to be used when we are integrating with a third-party vendor, where the legacy system is also a cloud. Okay, so in that case we do not get applications to do some of the technical stuffs. Okay, so for that we use the SOA cloud. So basically, when I am talking about the technical stuffs which we do with the help of while integrating the Fusion application and third party application, uh, so these are the three steps which we perform. So if the third party system is not on premise, is not a cloud, then we can perform all these tasks on the on premise system, and we can migrate directly data from the uh, let's suppose Oracle EBS to the Fusion application directly. We do not need the SOA cloud in that scenario. Okay, but we have some complicacy with the third party system, where they cannot perform all these tasks. So in that case we can take a help of SOA cloud services, where we can perform all these tasks and migrate the data from the third party to the Fusion application. So here you can see we have the database into the third party system. Okay, from there what we do, we get the data from the source, then we transform the data into the HDL file, so that when we load the data into the Fusion application, it should not error out, because in the HDL we have a specific file format for which in which we have to load the data into the Fusion application. So we will see for each object what are the different file structures, how we can load the data and how we can generate the file, and how data should be filled into the file. So all these things we will see in details when we will go through the HDL. Okay, then once the step 1 is done, so step 2 is basically for step 2 and 3 is basically for automating the things, because once the file is generated, we can manually also also manually transfer the file into the Fusion application, which is the Web Center UCM. So into the Fusion application we have a Web Center content, where we load all the files, and from there the Fusion application reads the file and load the data into the base tables. Okay, so either from the step 1 we can manually put the file into the UCM. Okay, when I'm talking about the UCM, it is called as a Web Center content. Okay, then once the file is placed into the Web Center content, we can load the data into the Fusion application base table, where we can also analyze if there is any error of while loading the data, and based on the error message we can correct the file. Okay, otherwise if we are not doing manually, we can do the second and third steps to automate the things. So what Oracle does, Oracle basically provides a package of Java class which we call SOAP or RIDC. Okay, which help us to provide load the file, place the file into the UCM while automating the HDL means data load integrations. Okay, so what is this? This is basically jar files which we place on the third party system, or we place it into the SOA. We have the SOA, and then we call this jar files with the help of Java class, or even from the Unix we can call this one. Okay, and once we call these things, this jar file, they place the file into the web center UCM, and once the file is placed into the UCM, we invoke the web services. There is a web services provided by the Oracle, which through which we can invoke the HDL to load the data into the Fusion application. So once we invoke the HDL with the web services, what it does, it uh, reads the file from the Fusion application and loads the data into the Fusion application. Okay. So this is the steps which we perform while doing the integration. We will go through this into the detail once we start with the course. Okay. So now we will move to the next step, where till now we had just seen the inbound interface. Now we will go through the outbound interface. So because there will be always a requirement when we send some of the data from the Fusion application to the third party vendor for their different purposes. Like sometimes we send it for the payroll processes, sometimes we send it for the different purposes. We need to send the data from the Fusion application to the third party. So basically for that we have means for extracting the data from the Fusion application, we have three types of tool available into the Fusion application. One is the OTBI, then BIP, then HCM extract. Okay, so the most frequently tool used for the integration outbound interfaces is the HCM extract. After that we use the BIP, and the least will be used for the integration purpose is OTBI. Okay, but OTBI is used for the other purposes. OTBI is used for basically for reporting purposes, where the HR can use those tools for viewing the data for their own requirement. Okay, then BIP will be used for both the purposes, like viewing the it means it can be used by the HR for viewing the report output and for integrating with the third party system also. Okay, and the HCM extract is more oftenly used for the integration purposes, where we generate the file and pass it to the third party system. Okay, so now we will see means how we can do the integration. It is the here what we do, we generate the file, place into the web center content, or means UCM, the same place where we were picking up the file from the Fusion application for loading the data. Then here also, once we means with the help of the HCM extract or BI publisher, we generate the file, and then we place it into the UCM or SFTP. Means it can be either it can be the Fusion application SFTP or third party SFTP. Once we place the file from there, either the third party application come and pick up the file from that place, means from the SFTP or from the UCM. It depends on it depends on the system where they want to place the file, and from which location they want to pick up the file. Okay, so from the Fusion application we have three different tools from where we can place the file either on the UCM or on the Fusion or third party SFTP, from where the third party systems can pick up the file. Okay, with while doing all these things, we can even encrypt the file, and then the third party systems can decrypt these files also. Okay, depending on the requirement, whether they want to keep the data to be encrypted while transferring to the Fusion third party or not. Okay, so all these things we
What is
can.
HCM?
Yeah, please go ahead.
What is UCM? Is it here on the slide?
No, we will go ahead. Means while going into the details, we will tell you what is the UCM. But I will just give you the detail. Is the UCM is the content folder. Means is a kind of folder into the cloud where we place our files. Okay. From there, either a Fusion reads the data, reads those files, or even the third party can read the file. Okay. So this is kind
But
of act as a folder.
what's the difference between WCC and the UCM?
No, this is just you can say that
They're
abbreviation
both
is abbreviation is different, but the naming you can web center content is the same WCC, and there also it's a web center content only, but it's a UCM. UCM is also we call the web center content is as a UCM only here into the Fusion application. It's not the different. It's same thing.
okay.
Okay. So here you can see the same things what I told for the inbound interfaces. Like we do not always use the Suva cloud services. It depends on the third party system how it is. So depending on that thing we can decide whether it is Suva cloud need to be used or not. Okay. So now the third part is the Fusion coexistence. So when the Oracle Fusion has been rolled out, there was means client were not ready to go for all the modules in a single shot. So at the time now also Oracle provides a coexistence method where they can they can use some of the module into the Fusion application and the remaining they can use with the third party, and then they can integrate it. Okay, so here you can see one example where Fusion application is means we have the different module like talent, go, talent, we have all the things, then workforce compensation is there, and the core HR is getting maintained into the Fusion app, into the third party. Okay, so what is happening here basically, if you can see, from the third party the data is getting migrated to the Fusion application periodically. Okay, and from there based on the talent and compensation is getting calculated and all those things is coming, and then that is coming back to the Fusion application, means third party application for their maintenance. So in coexistence, basically what happens, the two systems works combinedly, where some of the module maintains into the Fusion application, some of the module get maintains into the uh, third party system, and the data gets migrated periodically from both the sides. Like if let's suppose in Fusion application, in the core HR is getting maintained to the third party system where employee is getting hired. Okay, once the employee gets hired, the data gets migrated to the Fusion application. Okay, and for the same employee, talent cycle goes on, performance cycle goes on, and based on that also the compensation things gets decided on. Based on that, then the data comes back to the Fusion application where sorry, third party application, where they can perform the time and labor, payroll and benefits, or anything it is whatever is getting maintained into the third party system. So in both the way we can maintain either means make Fusion as a master or third party as a system as a master. Let's suppose if we are also maintaining the core HR into the Fusion application. Okay, there where a employee is getting hired, so we can say that Fusion is a master in that case, and then the means because we are hiring an employee into the Fusion application, then we are calculating the talent and talent, we are doing the talent review for the employee, and then migrating the data into the third party for the payroll purpose and the time and labor maintenance. Okay, So and if the reverse is happening with the fusion is happening with the third party, then we can say that the third party is the master. Only we are maintaining the workforce compensation and talent into the fusion application. Okay. So this is about the Oracle Fusion HCM coexistence. So we will also see how we do all those things. Okay. So as a technical consultant, what is going to be the role of means as a what is going to be your role? So in the fusion application, we have following roles to be used as a technical consultant, where we can do the integration, inbound and outbound integrations we can do. Then we can create the reports using the BI publisher or OTVI or HCM extracts. Then we can do the customizations. Then we can also go for the securities, where sorry, I have not mentioned these 2 points. Then securities also we can do, means how we can create different types of roles for the user access. Okay. And then assigning those roles to the users. So this can also be done by the technical. Then workflows will be also can also be maintained by the technical consultant. Okay. So basically we will see all those things while going through our training. Okay. So next is the training curriculum, where we will see what all things can we do with the help, means we will be doing into the training. Okay. So this is going to be our course content. Okay. So where we can see the we can go through in the details about the HCM extracts. What is HCM extracts? We will just go through this point. Okay. So where we can go through the introduction of the HCM extracts. Then we will see what is user entity, what is database items, how we can use the user entity and database items while creating a HCM extract. Then we can also see different types of HCM extract. We have a different type of HCM extract, like we have the payroll extract, HR extract, so full profile extract. So we will see in the details the different types of HCM extract. Then we will see different types of records and data elements. First we will see what is records, what is data elements, and then we will see what different types of records and different type of data element, and how we are going to use these records and data elements while creating a HCM extract. Okay. Then we will go into the fast formula. We have a separate session for the fast formula also, where we will see different type of fast formulas, and we will see how we can create the fast formula, and syntax and terminologies of the related to the fast formula we will go. But we use the fast formula while creating the HCM extract for for some of our requirements which are not getting fulfilled directly by using the HCM extract. Then we do all those calculation or changes into the fast formula, and then we finally use this fast formula into the HCM extract. Okay. Then we will see about the delivery options from the HCM extract, like when we are generating the file, means when we are extracting the data from the Fusion application, how we are going to deliver those data into from the Fusion application to the third party. So there we can see whether we want to migrate it to the UCM or to the SFTP. We can see, and how we can do it. Even we can send the data through the email also. So we will see all these things.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually, I have a question. That's it.
Yeah, please go ahead.
this HCM extracts and fast formula, actually for what reason we are using these things? Like, is it for reporting purpose or how? I mean, what is the purpose of this HCM extracts and fast formula?
Yeah, so HCM extract is basically used for extracting the data from the Fusion application. There are two purposes. One is for reporting, where we just extract the output and send it to the HR for their purpose, or even for the line manager. And the other is for the integrations, where we extract the data from the Fusion application, and then send it to the Fusion, means third party SFTP or UCM, so that the third party will consume that file and process those data into the downstreams. Okay, so these are the two uses of the HCM extract.
So basically, it's for reporting purpose, like whether we are sending it within our application or to some third-party system. Like it's extracting the data and sending it out.
Yes, correct. It's the extracting tool for the Fusion application.
Okay, and fast formula is getting, like, this is getting used for what? For the same purpose?
No, fast formula has different requirement. Fast formula is basically we use it for the different type of calculations. Okay, one we use in the HCM extract for filtering the data into the HCM extract using the fast formula. Then we also do some of the calculations into the fast formula, and then we just return the output into the HCM extract. But apart from the using the fast formula from into the HCM extract, we also use the fast formula for the different purposes. Like for simple example, we use it into the absence. Sorry, we use it into the absence for calculating the absence duration of the employee. Okay, based on their work schedules or calendars and holidays. So we use it. Then we use it for in the benefits. We use it in the payroll calculations. All these places we use the fast formula. So for each purpose we have a different type of fast formula. So we will go through all the different type of fast formula we means to be used in the Fusion application. There are very long list of the formula types which is going to be used into the Fusion application. I was giving just a simple example of the absence duration. Apart from this, we have other different types of formula which we go and see in the details for each different formula types. Okay.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Then the next is personalizations and cloud customization. So sorry, we were going through the HCM extracts where we have not completed. So with the HCM extract, we can generate the output into the different format. Okay, like e-text, XML, Excel, PDF, and all those things. So we can do see how we can generate. Then development of the extract, how we can schedule extract, then maintenance of extract. Then we will also see how to handle extract if it is getting errored out. So error analysis also we will see for the HCM extract. Okay. Then fast formula, the same things we have discussed already. Then also in the fast formula, how we can compile the fast formula, how we can debug the fast formula based on the error messages. Okay. Then the third point is personalization and cloud customization. So in customization architecture, we are going to be used based on the overview term. We will go and see what all things we can do with the customization. Then we will see terminologies related to the customization. We will do some of the customizations and so show you how we can customize. Then we will go through what is sandbox and how we use the sandbox. Then using the page customization, editing a page, adding new icons or adding new content to the pages, or all these things we will be doing. Then even for hiding or unhiding the things we can do. Then we will also see how we can migrate the customization from one Fusion environment to the other environment. So we will be seeing all these things while going through the personalization and cloud customizations. Okay. Then third-party integrations, I have already explained what is the third-party integrations and how we are going to use this into the detail. Okay. Then workflows. So in the Fusion application, we there are in number of transactions we perform, like hiring an employee, terminating an employee, or promoting an employee, or transfer of an employee from one location to the other, or from one department to the other department. So for all these transactions, we have a workflow in place which we can configure and change it depending on our requirement. Okay, so we can perform all these things. We will be seeing Oracle, how we can use the Oracle approvals, Oracle Fusion HCM approvals. Then we will go through the different types of approvals for each of the transactions. Okay, and then we will go through the type of approvers. So in the Fusion application, we have a different type of approvers for to be used based on the requirements. Then type of hierarchy in the Fusion application, we again means even in the other systems we maintain a hierarchy. For the manager hierarchy we maintain, then we also maintain the position hierarchy and all. So the same thing get maintains into the Fusion application also. Then we will see how we use those hierarchy into the Fusion application for the workflow purpose. Okay. Then we will see how we can create approval rules, or how we can edit the approvals rules, and then we can see it. And then we will see how we can, there are two ways we can do the workflows. The one is directly from the Fusion application, and the other is the Oracle BPM worklist. Okay, so BPM worklist is a separate tool which comes integrated with the Fusion application. Okay, where we customize the rules, or we create different workflows rules. So we will go and see in the details how we achieve this. Okay. Then in the data, the next topic is data conversion. We are going to see about how the data conversion will be performed into the Fusion application. There we will see different architecture, means data migration architecture. Then we will see the terminologies. Then what are the different types of data tools to load the data. I have already explained, like we have a different tool of for loading the data into the Fusion application. The one is the HDL, then spreadsheet loader, then pay batch loader. So we are going to see what are these tools and how we can use these tools for migrating the data. Okay. Then we will also see in what situation which tool needs to be used, and while doing the comparison between different data loaders. Okay. Then these are like introduction of a spreadsheet loader, same thing, explain examples of a spreadsheet. So each of these we will go through. Means for the HDL we will be going through different scenario for different business object. Like we have the business objects for example, we need to load the job into the Fusion application. So we will see how we can load the job into the Fusion application through a worked out example. And then how we can update the same jobs, and we will seeing all these things with the help of HDL. Okay. Then these all things while going through the HDL conversion, we can see the zip file structure. Means I was telling that we have a data file structure, then how we generally zip the file and load the data into the Fusion application. So we will be seeing all these things. Then all this file line instructions, tags, file discriminators, line structuring, line ordering. So all this comes as a part of preparation of file for the HDL. So we will be seeing all these things. What is the file discriminator, line structuring, line ordering, data file structure, file line instruction tags. All these things we are going to see in details as a part of file creation for the HDL. Okay. So once we are clear with this, then we will go and prepare the file and then validate the source. Okay. Then we will be also seeing how we can load the flex fields. So these flex fields include the DFF and EFF. So DFF is the descriptive flex fields and EFF is the extensive flex field. Okay. Then we see what are the settings required before we go ahead with the data migrations using the HDL. So all these things we will be seeing this in the detail. Then you can see means we are going to be data migration examples by HDL where we will migrate the data means for all the objects for job, grade, location, department, org tree, position, all these things we will see. Then we will for the HDL the same we will see how we can migrate it for using the person, salary, address, assignment. For then when we are terminating an employee or rehiring an employee or adding a contact for employee, so all these things we are going to see. Then we will also see for how we can load the salary details of the employee, then element entry for the employee. All these things we are going to see. Okay. Then introduction to the payroll batch loader. So this is also one of kind type of data loader to be used into the Fusion application. Okay. So then we also see for the some of the example to be used for the payroll batch loader. Then we also see how we can automate this all those things into the Fusion application for reducing the manual intervention. Then we will go through the Fusion HCM security where we are going to see the what are the different types of roles, when and how we can use those two roles. Okay. Then we see how we can copy, compare and edit a role, and we will also see how we can create a custom roles like job role or data roles. So we will see in the details different type of role. Then we are saying security profile. There are different types of security profile to be used into the Fusion application. We will go into the detail what is security profile into the detail through the training. Then assigning to the users and testing means once we are done with the creation of these roles, we will assign to the users and then we can see what all the accesses he is getting based on the roles assigned to him. Okay. Then this is BI Publisher. BI Publisher is also extract tools or reporting tool, the same as the HCM extract, where we extract the data from the Fusion application to the from the Fusion application. So here the difference between the HCM extract and the Fusion BI Publisher is in the BI Publisher we use SQL queries to fetch the data from the Fusion application. So for using the BI Publisher we need to have a knowledge of the SQL. Okay. Then then we can see also the different output format from the to be getting from the BI Publisher, the same way which we were getting from the Fusion application, like we were getting the e-text means comma separated files, then Excel file, then PDF, HTML, all this output format. So we are going to see how we can generate different types of output from the BI Publisher. Then we can see different delivery options, the same as the HCM extract, like we have the different options to send the file to the UCM, then to the third party system SFTP. Okay. Then we can send even email. We can also we will also go through the bursting where we will send the output file to the different user from the same report based on the their requirement. Okay, and then we also see how we can move these reports on the different pages, and how we can even link these reports on the different pages, so that user do not have to purposefully especially go and run the report. Okay, so anyone has any doubt till whatever topic we have discussed?
Dharan, you just said about the SQL. Can you tell me how much knowledge of SQL we need in this course, and even about the HTML?
Okay, yeah. So I will just answer for the second question. The HTML is not required at all from our means for using this VIP. So just the output will come in the HTML. So I will show you how we can it, but there is no need of understanding of HTML. Okay. Yeah, from the SQL knowledge should be good. You can, even if you have the less knowledge, you can manage, but still because some of the reports are very complex, you should have a good knowledge of the SQL. Okay, so I will while going through the BI publisher, I will just show how we can write the SQL query. So I will be going through for some of the few small SQL queries, and then we can go for the some difficult, but we are not going for the more means SQL, how we write the SQL. We are not going into the details for that. Okay, but from my point of view, SQL should be good for writing the BI publisher reports. So is this fine for you?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Then
hello everyone, this is Amrit. Actually, I just wanted to ask, like, how much content that we are going to cover for the integration, specifically the inbound and outbound with the third party.
it means I didn't get you about the how much. Means what?
Are we means covering that part, like the integration with the third parties, both the inbound and outbound?
Yes, basically for the inbound we are going to cover like how how we can automate those things. Okay, how we can invoke
Okay.
the web services, how we can place the file into the UCM. Those things we are going to cover. For the outbound, we are going to place the file onto the SFTP, and we will see how. But we are not covering from the third-party vendor type, because there are going to be the n number of third-party system which going to pick up the file from the SFTP. So we and there are different ways for picking the file from the third party based on their requirements. Okay, so we will just see how we will place the file into the on the SFTP. Okay, from there how the third party is picking up the files, we are not going to handle those things. Okay.
Okay. And one more question, means in terms of technical perspective, how much we are going to cover the functional setup, or means from a functional side?
Yeah, functional setups, we are going to be the core HR setups we will be handling. We will going through the details. Like in the functional setups, in the core HR setups we are talking about is going to cover like work enterprise structure setup, then different types of workflow. Even the workflows and all comes under the core HR setups only, we can say. Then in the enterprise in core HR, we are going to see different employment module, how we can generate the person numbers, and how we maintain the geographies into the Fusion application. Then different types of means how we can set up the person types, assignment statuses, different types of lookups. So all those things we are going to see as a part of the core HR. Okay.
Yep. And means like the lookups and DFF from a technical point, like to load the DFF and lookup
Yes.
from a
Yeah, even
So
how
in
we
case of
can create the different types of DFF means configuration. From configuration point of view, we will see how we can create the DFF. Can you put yourself on mute after asking the question? I will just, yeah. So we will from the configuration point of view, we will see how we can create a DFF, EFFs, and then how we can assign the lookups to this DFFs and EFF, and to which pages we can assign this DFF and EFF. Then also we can see how we can enable this DFF and EFF for our reporting purposes. So this all things comes as a part of core HR. Then we are also going to see how we can load the data for these DFFs, EFFs, and how we can extract the data for those DFFs and EFFs. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we will just go.
Dharam, one question.
Yeah.
Dharam, one question regarding on the BI publisher part, where you said that we can write SQL and all those things.
Yes.
So is it like that Oracle is giving access to directly to the table, or it is again there is a middleware interface for that?
Yes, they are giving. BI publisher is again UI interface where we need to write the SQL queries and then run the SQL
For writing
queries.
SQL, we need table access, right?
Yes, so we
And
means
so, are we going to get direct access to the low-level tables where we have been writing like in R12 or 11i or like that, or
yes,
just like a simple? So we are getting access to that. Because we know that at the end user, you can say, since this is a SaaS-based structure,
hmm.
so we can't have the direct access to the tables. Then how it is going to work, and or how it is going to operate? If you can explain a bit.
Yeah. So basically, in the EBS or on-premise system, we were able to write the SQL queries directly from using the SQL developer or using the Toad. We were writing this code and then we were attaching it to the XML publisher or BI publisher, right? So here we do not have that facility. We cannot use the SQL developer or Toad. Okay, we write the SQL queries on our notepad or any editor. Then we copy paste into the BI publisher. We have a concept called data model. Okay, so there we copy paste the SQL query. Once we run the output, once we run our SQL query, it gives the output into the XML. Okay, so this is how we are having the.
So, is there any? I mean, they are also providing the platform of SQL Plus along with the package as well.
So, sorry, can you repeat your questions once?
I'm saying that the way we have been doing programming in SPS SQL,
Yeah.
is there? Are they going to provide the SQL Plus platform along with Fusion as well?
Yes, yes. So we will see how we can write the SQL
Okay.
queries into while going through the BI publisher. So it will be more clear for you, like how we are writing the SQL queries and how we are running it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next topic is going to be the OTBI. So for OTBI, OTBI is basically based on the pre-written SQL queries by the Oracle development, where we do not have to worry about the SQL queries. We can directly drag and drop the columns and generate the output. Okay, but in the OTBI reports there are some limitations which due to which we have to we use the BI publisher and the HCM extract. So while going to the training, we will see what are the limitations which we face while creating the OTBI reports. Okay, then in the OTBI reports we see how we create the OTBI. Then we see the different terminologies into the OTBI is like subject area and the dimensions or facts and folders. So I will just tell you that subject area is just a folder which contains different sets of columns based on the SQL pre-built SQL queries. Okay, and then how we can get the different output format. Means we do not change the output format directly from the OTBI, but we need to use the BI publisher for the same purposes. Then we will see how we can migrate these reports, OTBI reports, on the different pages. Okay. Then we go through the, as a functional, we are going to the core HR, where we are going to see the enterprise setup, means enterprise structure setup. Then we are going to see how we can create the DFF, EFF, then lookups, value sets. Okay. Then we are also going to see how we can hire employee into the Fusion application, then how we can generate the person number, how we can set up the user name for the employee, how we can send the notification to the user on the first time hiring. Okay. Then we will also see what are the different types of employment data model provided into the Fusion application. So all these details we are going to cover up as a part of core HR. Okay. So this is going to be our course curriculum throughout our training sessions. Okay. And our training is going to be around 40 to 45 hours for the whole day. And we will be starting our training from 7 a.m. means from the same time which we have started today, and it will go for 1.5 hours every day. Okay. And we are going to go, means the training will be from Monday to Friday. Okay. So any questions do you have?
Sir, what time is the class timing? You said 7 a.m. till what time?
Yeah, 7 a.m. to IST. So basically this is the same time which we have started today.
Yeah, but the duration will be how long? 1.5 or 2 hours?
Yeah, 1.5 hours. It is going to be a 1.5 hours. Okay.
Okay. Then I'm having another question. Actually, I'm attending from the United States. I'm from IT background. I don't have any knowledge from the HR course. How much do you think I will be able to succeed in this course? Because I have no idea about the HR course. And another thing is I don't know what is the difference between the functional part and technical part. So do I have to do both the course together to get the job, to apply for the job over here, or we just study the technical, I will be able to get the job? Because I think technical is more near to my IT background. I will be able to do that better than the functional part. Thank you.
Yeah. So basically we get the job even with the HCM technical also, because I see many of the people are working as purely as a technical. I have many more colleagues which work as a technical only. They do not work more in the functional. But yeah, there is also good job for the functional and technical both. Okay. So if in our course we are handling the technical along with the core HR as a functional, so this is going to be add-on for you. If you know the technical along with the core HR, this is going to be the beneficial for you. So from my side, I can tell you that you can get the job even with the technical stuffs which we are going through. Okay. So based on that you can get the job, but we are also giving you the details about the core HR. Core HR is going to be the simple for you to understand. We will just go through the details like what is job and position and how they are related. So you can understand from, even if you are not from the core HR, from the HRMS also, you will be able to understand these things. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, anyone has any questions?
Hello, sir. So, will you be suggesting any certification on that, means on the technical part?
So if you have the certification, it is well and good. Means if you are getting a data implementation certificate for this one, it is very good. But even if you don't have, it is not required means to have the certification. But if you have the certificate, you will be having A's as compared to others. Okay. So you can have
Yeah.
the different type of certification like Oracle Fusion HCM data implementation specialist, then Oracle Fusion reporting implementation specialist. Then you have the same for the security. Then for functional, if you go for the core HR benefits, for each module, means there are different type of certifications. So it's not recommended. It means it is good to have it, but it is not mandatory.
Mr. Dharam.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Can you provide any documents for the fresher who's into Fusion HCM Technical?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you just repeat once?
Can you in this tenure,
Yeah.
can you share some documents which will help for the freshers who's into Fusion HCM Technical training?
Yes. We will be going through the means we are going to show the presentation means our PPT will be only in more details, which will give you more details. But even during the training, I used to give the reference for some of the documents which we can use, or even I provide some of the document prepared by me to be used. Okay, so that you can use. So as we go through the training, we are going to show that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So as you said, so you will be sharing it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, because so being the candidates and being the employees, so we will refer these videos in offline whenever we are at home. So in a client place and in an office, so we cannot refer this recorded video. So if we have it in the document, so at least we can have in the mobile devices, we can do the practice and all by the document. That is why I'm just requesting you to share.
Yeah, sure. We will, basically we share all those things, so not a problem for this. Okay.
Thank you, there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so fine. I hope we have cleared all the doubts today. So I will wind up for today, and from tomorrow we are going to start with the training, and we are going to start with the HCM extract first. Then we will move further for the other topics. So no, I will start with the BI publisher, because the BI publisher is going to be used in the HCM extract, and then we can use it for the HCM extracts. Okay.
Hello. Hi, Dharam. I have a
Yes.
question. One question, Dharam.
Yeah.
The interfaces, right? That the interfaces you are going to write. Are you going to share the code with us when you practice?
Yes. I will create the HCM extract or BI publish or any interface in front of you only, so that it will be clear for you to understand how I am doing it, so that it will be helpful for you. So I am not writing it back so that I have to share the code. So it will be available in the video only.
No. I mean, in the training, we cannot really write the complex scripts,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We'll be having some scripts that are very, very typical for complex extractions for third parties. So such things, can you share with us?
I hope because we are not allowed to share interfaces depending on the requirements, but I can help you offline depending on the requirement, but I cannot share you the codes for your purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe offline. We'll try to write it, but some of them can get very complex. That will help if you have.
Yeah, that I can help you for solving that one. So yeah, obviously I cannot share the codes, but yeah.
Hi, Dharam. I have a question. Like today we mostly discussed about the reporting tools and how to extract data and all those things. So like I'm currently into PeopleSoft. So we have, like in PeopleSoft, we have privileges to design online pages for user interface and user interaction. In Fusion also we have all those things, right? In technically.
No, in the Fusion, as a part of customization, we are very limited. We cannot create the pages. For creating the pages, we need to have a pass license with the client. We cannot do it directly with the Fusion application. Okay, so in the Fusion application,
Fusion, we don't have like how user like interacts with the system, like normal employees and other people.
Yeah, pages are there, but we cannot add extra pages as means what we were doing in the EBS, because I am from the EBS, so I cannot tell you where the people are. So in the but we can customize those pages, like I told you, like we can add the content to the pages. Okay, we can even hide, unhide, making the some of the fields mandatory. We can hide some of the buttons and all those things we can do based on the some rules or anything. We can do all those things in the Fusion application.
Okay. So in the existing whatever is delivered by Fusion, there we can do all sorts of customizations, but we cannot create any extra things from our own, like this online interface related changes, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thanks, Dharam.
Thank you.
Dharam, is there any possibility that rather than starting at 7 in the morning, at least you can start 15 minutes before, so that it is easy for us to manage all those things? I mean, if everybody is agreed on that.
Because for many people it may be late, it will be too early also for some of them. So because that's why we kept it the 7 as means considering all of them.
The content, that makes easy for us to manage office and training as well.
Yeah.
So it's a hassle.
Okay, let me speak with the team. If we can manage with, they can coordinate with the other team members also, and then we can proceed as going forward with the training. Okay.
Yeah. If even 15 minutes will do.
Yeah, sure. So I will try for this one. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Can you very briefly tell me what is the difference between the functional part and technical part?
Yeah, so functional part is basically related where we do the configurations into the Fusion applications. Okay, like setting up some of the initial setup into the Fusion application. For example, if we are going to use the absence management in the Fusion application. So the Fusion application, how we define the absence types, absence plan, means how your absence duration should be calculated. So all these things we call it as the functional. Okay, so where we interact just from the we do not interact with the data, where we just interact with the application, where we configuration some of the setup. Okay, configure some of the setup, we call it as the functional. Okay, and the technical we call it as where we interact with the data, we modify it using some of our technical skills, like SQL we use, then in expression languages we use. So all these things where we involve our some of the technical languages we use, we call it as a technical in the Fusion application. So here as part of the technical, we have the reports, data migration, integrations, customizations, and all are the technical. But configurations on the core HR, like different types of lookups we define into the Fusion application, different types of descriptive flex fields we define, means how the employee person number is going to be generated into the Fusion application. So all these things we do setups into the Fusion application. So these are the functional things we call it. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So fine, everyone. I will close the session for today, and we will meet tomorrow at the same time, 7 a.m. IST. Okay.
Thank you, Dara. Take care.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.